Hi, welcome to Life TV. Over the last week or so, there has been an article that has been flying around on social media. Lots and lots and lots of people have been posting this, and it's got a headline that goes like this. This man asked a simple question online that shut down the whole anti-abortion argument. There's just one problem. It's not true. This man didn't ask a simple question that shut down the whole anti-abortion argument at all. First of all, it's not even a question, it's actually a thought experiment. Secondly, it's a very old thought experiment. It's been around for many years now. And thirdly, lots of people, including me even on this forum previously years ago, have already responded to this particular thought experiment and explained why it is wrong, why it has no bearing at all on the pro-life argument, and why it does not prove that it is okay to deliberately end the life of unborn human beings via abortion. So let's have a look now at the thought experiment, and let's quote directly from this guy's tweets. You're in a fertility clinic. Why isn't important. The fire alarm goes off. You run for the exit. As you run down this hallway, you hear a child screaming from behind a door. You throw open the door and find a 5-year-old child crying for help. They're in one corner of the room. In the other corner, you spot a frozen container labelled 1,000 viable human embryos. The smoke is rising, you start to choke. You know you can grab one or the other, but not both before you succumb to the smoke, inhalation, and die, saving no one. Do you A, save the child, or B, save the 1,000 embryos? There is no C. C means you all die. In a decade of arguing with anti-abortion people about the definition of human life, I have never gotten a single straight A or B answer to this question, and I never will. Well, Mr. Patrick S. Tomlinson, let me burst your bubble, because I'm about to give you a straight answer to this question, and I'm also about to show you why this thought experiment does not justify abortion or shut down the pro-life position, not even close. The answer to this question is A. You would save the 5-year-old child, but choosing A does not mean that you believe that embryos do not have the same moral worth as children. What he's failed to account for here is the fact that embryos, because they are at an earlier stage of their human development, even though they might have the same moral worth as the rest of us, they don't have the same capacities. And there's two really important capacities that they don't have. They don't have the capacity to experience either existential or physical suffering. Yet a 5-year-old child does have the capacity for existential and the capacity for physical suffering. And so if you leave the 5-year-old child to die, they will die a horrible, torturous death, experiencing both existential and physical suffering. But if you leave the embryos, because you're forced to make a choice, remember, he won't let you choose both, then guess what? They will die peacefully. They will not experience either physical or existential suffering. This doesn't mean, though, that they don't have the same moral worth. Remember, you are put into a situation where you have to choose one or the other. It is a no-win situation, and you have no choice in the matter. Let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's pretend now it's not frozen embryos. Instead, it's 1,000 adults who are in medically induced comas, and in the other corner of the room, it's a 5-year-old child screaming out in pain. You obviously can't save both. Who do you save? Well, obviously you're going to save the 5-year-old child for the exact same reasons, because those adults in medically induced comas will not experience any existential or physical suffering. Now, just because you'd save the 5-year-old child, that doesn't mean that you believe, or it doesn't mean that adults have less moral worth than 5-year-old children if they happen to be in medically induced comas. See how this is really not that clever an argument at all? But leaving all of that aside for a moment, there's another really big reason why this thought experiment is actually a really bad argument for abortion, and why it has nothing to do with the morality of abortion. You see, in this scenario, you're not being asked to kill anyone. You are being put into a no-win situation in which you are being told you only have one choice, and you are being asked to save someone or some people when you're in a situation where you can't save everyone. That's nothing like abortion. With an abortion, no one is saving any lives. Instead, an abortionist targets and deliberately and directly kills an unborn human being. We are talking here about direct human action versus something that is beyond your control. If you can't save everyone, whichever choice you make in this fertility clinic, obviously you're not going to be able to save everyone. The people you cannot save, they will die, but guess what? You didn't kill them. They die as a result of the fire. The fire kills them. Something beyond your control claims your life. In an ideal world, you would save both. But that's nothing like abortion. In an abortion, an abortionist deliberately and directly kills an innocent human being. You are talking now about direct human action as opposed to an unintended secondary consequence, the fire, and therefore there's a completely different moral equation that needs to be considered here. And this argument completely fails to take that into account. So as you can see, Mr. Tomlinson has not put forward a robust argument in favour of abortion at all. Instead, he's proposed a very old and outdated thought experiment which lots of people have responded to previously, and again today I explained why choosing A does not mean that embryos have less moral worth than children. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Life TV. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.